Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, club swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. We got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. We got Amy, Anna, Brad. Good morning to Cheryl, Chris, Sydney, Corey, Eric, Georgia. We rocking with Jay, Marius, Martina. We got Rick. Good morning to you. We got Rob. Good morning to you as well. All my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to Jeffrey, Mrs. Free. Good morning. We got Leonard, Clarice. Clarice say happy Friday. Albert's got those tickers coming out already. We had PCE this morning and a crazy week, another crazy week in the market. Kind of at times felt like nothing was happening in some weird sense. Like yeah, maybe we'll stay green today. We'll see if the rally continues. Otherwise, we had like a whole bunch of days kind of just sitting inside, and then Thursday, nice little gap up. We came down. We talked about this in the swing room yesterday, but gap down pretty good retest spot that we got to close above. So I'm looking for that to hold today if we continue to just kind of sell off a pullback. The location in terms of where that bounce happened was phenomenal, right? So we did break through everything, but we got that retest in there from the candle 2 days ago. Great spot to hold, good close. Yes, it's red, but it was a gap up and we've kind of run. We've run a lot already. So for today, if we want to retest, if we're gonna sell off, it is inside candle still. But if we want to retest, I've been looking for some kind of support somewhere around 572.42. And I think at this point we're looking at the opening price from yesterday, so somewhere in the 574.36 range will be probably the resistance. And if we could break that, we are probably going higher. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Otherwise, we did survive the PCE. They came in light. It was a little to the lighter side, so not bad on that. We kind of got the warning from Goolsby last Friday that he came out and said we expect PCE to be very, very good. So then my only thing was, well, we're kind of running up into it based on essentially the comments of like, yeah, we're still liking everything. And then now is today, like we get the news and sell the news event. So, but for right now, the market is still holding. So looking fairly good. We got the Qs. Same thing, a little bit of a gap up. So it is a gap and go. Inside candle. We're about 50% of yesterday's entire range. Would be interesting to see if we do sell off a little bit and look for support around 489.64. Then we got to use the high of, well, not the high, but the opening price. So 493.34. Probably going to be a little resistance up there. And then again, we'll see if we can break through that. If we can break through it, and all of yesterday's candle was a retest gap. So I think we still have bullish momentum. But next target, 495.82 on the Qs. I did see tech was kind of waking up a little bit. I know some of the chips were running. One of the stocks I was looking at was AMD. So I still like this gap. I liked it yesterday as well. We'll see if today wants to play out. But I still have targets on this one up to 176.89. I think we still have a really good range. We got a beautiful bounce spot yesterday, so we used the higher volume zone, longer term higher volume. 165.70 as we cut through it, but we did get a bounce past it, so not bad. And then a lot of things, even Q spies, they closed red for the day, or with a red candle at least. But we have AMD that's showing still a little bit of strength. I got one resistance up here. This one might hold us back. I don't think so. We got pretty close to it the first time, but 169.26. The one after that one, 171.86. So just depending on how strong the rest of the market is today, those two could be some resistance before we get into that 176.92. But I have my eye on that one. Would love to see a little pullback first. See if I could try to get it as close as possible to 167.63. So maybe a pullback out of the gate. Let's go to Bitcoin. Before we get into Coinbase, Bitcoin for right now. Yesterday was a good day. Bullish engulfing candles, not bad there. We did stay above. I have pretty good support, 64,194. We're heading into 66,365. So that's probably going to be my resistance, at least the first one. If we could break through it, the next spot I got should be a fairly bullish move on Bitcoin to $68,042. And then I got my bigger resistance a little bit higher, 69,617. Never been retested up there. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's looking fairly bullish. Let's take a look at Coinbase. Really good looking candle yesterday. Nice breakout. A little bit of a retest candle. When I say a little bit, it is definitely a retest candle. Uh, good spot to try if you want to try to get in. You do have the 200 above us, so that could hinder further movements, especially if Bitcoin could only hit that first resistance and then just kind of comes back. It'll take me to 187.75. After that, the next actual target, and maybe we could still hit that today, but 190.23. If we could hit that, it's about a $7 move. It's not bad. But being that this is a retest gap, I would look for support first spot, probably 180, on a little pullback. And then the actual pullback, if we could get it, would be 179.14. So see if we could find a spot a little bit lower to get in, but does have some room on it. PDD. Good gap up with the rest of the China market. I mean, this is a powerful move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trading days. So 2 weeks of trading. Taking us from $91 up to where we're sitting now, pre-market 134. Crazy. It does have a little bit more room to go. This would be 139.59. I think would be my next target. Otherwise, retest gap, lots of buying ahead of it. You're getting this gap up. This type of momentum, I don't want to play for a fade. I'd rather a pullback. So if we get a pullback into maybe this 129.60 would be decent. Obviously, some of these candles that are gapping. I mean, that was a retest, never really came back. Monster gap up there, never really came back. So maybe we don't get that retest, but I think I'd have to be patient and wait at some of these levels. I assume somewhere in here, volume wise, we don't really have anything to up until like 138. So we definitely have some room, but yeah. I don't know if I want to chase that one. I don't know if I want to chase it. Let me know if you guys got other tickers. We're slow on tickers today. Santil says China's up. Yeah, we'll take a look at Baba real quick and Baidu as well. Baba, same thing. Just massive gap up again. Chart looks very, very similar to PDD. So everything's kind of moving in unison. This one, I think there's still some more room on this one. This one we might have a better target if we were to trade Baba. Probably get us, I think we can get to like 111 if we make a crazy move. Same thing though, wild move already, and we're getting that gap up. So maybe be patient on this one as well. See if we can get it somewhere close to 105.29 on a pullback retest. Let's take a look at Baidu. Probably looks very similar as well. Baidu. All right, so this one's opening into strong resistance. Longer term, I think at this point, just in range, even getting back to the top, you probably still have, I mean, that's a 50% move back to the top. Beautiful looking double bottom longer term, higher lows. You might have some decent room on this one. But for today, we have to see if we can break through, I'd say 104. If we can do that, the next spot, the Bears are going to try to hold it down, 104.79. Anything past that, I think you can get a decent push to 107.57. So out of the three of them, probably Baidu. I think I like the best. I think I like that one the best. Twilio, but the entire Chinese market, yep, crushing it. Crushing it as of late, which is different. It used to be just crushed all the time. when you throw 174 billion or whatever it was, 190 billion into the market, that's the effect. Twilio, yeah, Twilio still looks good, still a retest gap. I think we looked at this one the other day too. I looked at it this morning as well, came up. Um, the real target, and I don't know if we could hit that today, but $69 would be an outstanding move. Maybe we could get a little pullback. Again, it is a retest gap from yesterday, so maybe we could get a pullback to 64.17 to get some better risk to reward. Otherwise, it looks bullish. If it opens and runs without me, I get it. I get it. We got SMCI, which we made good money on yesterday. Bullish, believe it or not. Somehow we made money bullish on SMCI. I don't have the lines on the chart anymore, but we caught a good move. Like this was maybe a what 17-cent miss from a 3R target. So we had a really aggressive setup on it. We liked it out of the gate. I think we ended up officially with like a 1.65, something like that. Because we just needed a little more push. We didn't get it. And then I'm like, man, we later in the day, I was like, we could probably almost take that same setup, and was gonna, nah, I'll let it go. And then this candle came in. I was like, thank goodness I didn't take that one. Good thing. But yep, right around that time, reports came out that they were getting investigated, probed for accounting practices. This is old news. We've had it, but maybe they just reiterated the news and made more serious investigations. Otherwise, this one got extremely killed yesterday. We were looking at maybe if you're going to take a shot to go along on some aggressive plays, somewhere around this 390. We ended up breaking through that, bounce back. For right now, it's just hanging out. I think we'll talk technical and we'll talk investing. If you like SMCI, yes, you could probably get a good price. Do I think it comes lower? I do. We're just hanging out in the zone where we kind of have to protect. I've been saying I kind of like the 270, 280 zone, the real spot 263.96, just on a technical basis. You have a lot of volume above you, so that's probably going to act as a little bit of resistance. So I still like SMCI to the short side. I know there's a lot of SMCI fans out there. I think it's the third biggest chip company. I don't know what happens with the investigation. I don't know if it turns out there is indeed some craziness in terms of the accounting. If there is, if that comes out, this 260 zone, the 270 is probably going to break, I would assume. That being said, if everything comes out, and I don't know, some of these investigations they take a long time, but if the news comes out, everything is fine, there's nothing there, just all smoke. This thing is going to just absolutely rip. So it's going to be if you like it, you're probably going to want to put it in a portfolio you do not look at ever, and then just wait until you finally hear some good news on SMCI. But this one does have a lot of room to the downside still. So I wouldn't quite get in there for me bullish. Technically, you're probably sitting somewhere around from the last move, right around the 618. So I can see why people might find it interesting, but not for me. Not for me yet. Give me a cheap price. Give me a cheap price. And then day trade wise, just with that candle, this is going to be. Let's say there was some people in this thing bullish because it did look fairly bullish out of the gate. I liked it a lot. If there was some other people in there and then they just walked away, they didn't have stops, they didn't have, or their stops got skipped or whatever the case is. I think there's a lot of people in this candle now looking to just kind of figure out how to get out of this thing and be like, okay, do I really want a stock that's under any type of investigation? So I'd probably leave it alone for today. And if I do play it, it'd probably be to the short side. But we'll see. We got Nvidia. I feel like Nvidia is the rest of the market kind of coming back. No, not really. But Nvidia was also a retest gap from yesterday, so I still like that bullish momentum in it. You are gapping up 5 or 4 or 3 cents, depending on how fast you blink. Otherwise, for Nvidia, there is a lot of resistance up here. We kind of hit that yesterday. I think that probably continues unless if we break. I think if we break out of today's candle, if we could break the highs, I wouldn't even worry about the resistance there. I think the next stop is probably this 135.63, if not back to almost this 140 zone. The fact that the bulls could get above this retest candle, I this should have been the retest into a lot of that resistance, and we do have a lot of VPOCs in the zone, although they're not shown on my chart for some reason. So major resistance on it. I think the only way I would personally get in here bullish is if I think we're back to the highs 140 or higher at that point. Otherwise, you don't have really that great of trade range unless this thing wants to come back down to like maybe 118 again. So I'll probably leave this one alone for the moment. AVGO, kind of similar story. You are at a very good resistance. Didn't quite hit this spot. My target would be 182.63. Unlike Nvidia, which is trying to hold a couple cents positive, this one's holding a couple cents to the negative side. We do have yesterday's VPOC in here as well. So this is 178.64. That's probably going to be some resistance today, I would imagine, but we're just inside candle, good high wave candle after just phenomenal bullish run. So the only way I think that I would probably be able to trade this one is if I had some kind of thought or opinion that we are definitely hitting all-time highs on AVGO. Otherwise, the bullish play I think is diminished a little bit on this top range. PLTR, Palantir. Leonard says Enron accounting. Yep. Yep. QCOM I do have set up. Yep. So I see you guys asking about Qualcomm. We'll go to that one next. Palantir. A little bit of a gap down today. Probable resistance on this one. This one's been tricky in this range. Again, I like Palantir. I own Palantir just at a much different price. It's a little bit heavy up here. A little bit heavy. That being said, is it going to crater? Is it going to come down? I don't know, but if it does, I'm not freaking out. One of the first stocks to kind of get that pullback yesterday was Palantir. So I think you have just some shaky bulls, or like I personally wouldn't be buying shares up here for me, not unless I saw some good pullback or something decent. So if I can't buy shares, I'm sure there's other people out there that go, all right, kind of high. Why buy it up here when maybe I get a pullback or just miss the trade? So that being said, we are gapping down still inside day, so nothing too crazy yet. But what I don't like on it is we are below yesterday's VPOC. Big resistance on this one, probably now 37.15, and then we got 37.02 is going to be a strong one too. So the closer we get to that $37 mark, not saying go out and get puts, not saying go out short it. It just be careful on the bullish direction. We will see. QCOM. So this one we do have set up. I set this one up yesterday, so this is a 2R setup. We'll see if we could hit, but I have my entries at 174.21, and then my stops at 166.54. Target is 189.55. So I'm not filled yet. We'll see what happens today if we do get filled. I think pre-market we were up there, but I didn't have the pre-market on, so we will see. The key spot, and again, we were trying to play with the numbers on this one yesterday just to see kind of the best risk reward. But that's a really good hammer right off that 200. Good spot. We could go with the breakout, but I don't think we need to. As long as we stay above all of this volume, I'm good with that. And then for me to get triggered, I got to get back above this candle from the 19th. So I like it bullish. We'll see what happens with that 100. 100 could reject this. But I think even with that case, we should be able to get stops up. So I am bullish on it. INTC. Yeah, I probably would just want to go bullish. Targets on this one. I'm gonna get this one up a lot higher on the lists. I might like this one above AMD. 1, 2, 3, 4 days bullish. We got a red candle, but that's still a retest. That would actually still close higher than we closed the day before. So essentially, that's 5 green days in a row. Inside candle for now. So we'd have the option either looking to go bullish here somewhere, or where I would prefer to look for a trade would be here. Because the reason I don't think I want to take that break high of the day is there's already 5 days of people bullish. And that's not accounting people just buying dips down here. Otherwise, target wise would be decent. I've got really no volume holding us back. It works both ways though. Keep that in mind. There's just not a lot of interest in the zone, bullish or bearish. So it would make whichever direction a lot easier and fly quicker. But support really somewhere around that 23.15. We got 23.85 is our potential entry just from yesterday's VPOC. And then we got targets up to 25.86. I do think that you have a lot of people looking for targets in this gap fill zone. And we probably get there at one point. But I think first, if we're looking for a day trade, 25.78-ish, somewhere up there for today, would be a strong target. Pins is also high on my list. Yep. Oh, although I don't like trading pins, but it is another one. Definitely on the list. Again, a retest gap. I don't want to see a huge retest. But retest down to like 32.66, so 22-cent kind of pullback, and then we go. But very similar type story. Not a lot of volume. I do have bigger targets, and that's not going to be easy to get to, but 37.37. So for today, in terms of targets, I think we got probably 33.04, which is not a lot. And if we could break out of that, we're looking at 33.31. That'd be a really good trade. So I got some room on it. Volume is it's okay. G Nix GRNC. Well, now I gotta look. Generac Holdings. A little bit close to that resistance as a retest gap. I'd see if this one could come up a little bit at open 155.45 and then possibly look for a short. UPS. So we don't have this trade set up, but I have the lines, I think, from somewhere down here. Maybe somewhere from down here. I was like, all right, well, if we come up there, I'd be interested in maybe a short on UPS. I'm not taking it, but I don't like the risk reward on this one. And I kind of don't like going short on UPS, to be honest. But good looking day. I think probably some kind of resistance. We almost got there yesterday. We still have the 100 before, but this one could get held up, I think, 134.64. So not a huge range unless you think all this could break out, and then you're probably targeting maybe 137, 138 for today. 137.89, 138. Somewhere looks up there. Joe B says Tesla looks like it's bumping against resistance. Tesla. Tessie. Yes and no. Um, you're about halfway through yesterday's gap. I mean, through yesterday's candle. So it is a gap and go to the bull side. First support. So I would have to, just because it's inside day, I'd want a good price on it. First support, probably 256.17. If it pulls back, and then I would look for the low, oh, not the low, but 254.31 from yesterday. That would at least get me some good risk reward. We do have some levels higher. So this one we've already gotten through 259.93. I think that could happen. And then I don't really have another one until 265.28, so I still have a little bit of room. And yesterday was also a retest gap too. So interesting. I kind of like it bullish actually. The question is, Tessie always moves out of the gate. Even I'm looking at pre-market right now, they're throwing a little high wave in there. Little high wave candle. We got 2 minutes left. I'm not taking this one. I'm gonna see how this one opens, but just to give myself an idea. That's aggressive because the bell has not gone ding 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 yet. And then we could get held up here at 257.98. I think we could break through it. Yeah, not a lot of volume really holding us back. I think that takes us up to target somewhere around here at minimum, unless we could break through. But that trade alone is it's probably about a one, maybe a 1.2 R, something like that. So not bad. We'll watch Tessie. I kind of like that gap. I would prefer to come in lower. We'll see. Affirm. AFRM. Probably got a few seconds left. Affirm gapping up, but it is also into a little resistance. So if this thing is going to go bullish, we got to break this 43.28. Otherwise, if you like it to the short side, that's where you want to short. But that's where I think more activity happens. To the downside, you might be limited on targets 41.90. If that 41.90 breaks, you probably could get a really good trade to like $40.29. Disney, just looking at some random ones. So if I miss your stock, I apologize. Disney is chilling right at yesterday's VPOC. So if we could break out of 95.50 and not much range, I got 95.70, 95.77 going to hold us back, and then probably 96.81 would be your target. And that looks like strong resistance. Got that 200 right there. Otherwise, man, I can't believe it's Friday. That's crazy. But that morning bell means we got to disconnect. So everybody on YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you're not done so already. Otherwise, you guys are awesome. Stay safe. It is the last Friday of the month, and then we got one more day. They let this one linger, but it's okay. Make sure you guys hit the like and